video, I brought a person. He's gonna be asking me questions about bags. I'm gonna be here to explain all this to him. So, Jose, let's ask questions.
Alright, so I have an Audi, and I kind of see that you always do in bags on Mopars, right? So, going over to the German side of the vehicles, how is the setup for the bags that I would get?
Europeans are very complicated people. A lot of you guys with these Beamers, Mercedes-Benz, and Audis, for some reason, is not like American cars. American cars are very to the point. However, I'm gonna explain a few things before I start really getting into depth about your car. American cars, what they like to do is, some of them like to copy European styles. Ford, Mustang, very close to a lot of European cars. For example, I worked on the G70 Genesis. That's a Korean car. Still an Asian product, but it's a Korean car. And that car, almost identical to a Mustang GT. So, it's not too complicated. It's not too different. So I have great experience in a lot of applications. So when I work on an Audi, I feel like I've already worked on them before. Especially like a BMW, they're very similar to a Mustang. However, Mustang probably copied them. All these independent suspensions, what that means is it doesn't have a solid axle like a pickup truck. Independent suspension, most of them came from a European design. And that's how it works. So all our cars are extremely complicated. They're not as complicated as this yet, but they're still kind of complicated, if that makes sense.
So would I be sacrificing any of my drivability?
No. You're not sacrificing anything. The myth is you can't race with bags. You can't speed with bags. Now, what do I do on the highway when you're with me?
Kick rocks on my car.
Kick rocks on his car, correct. And I'm speeding all the time, and I'm actually doing the stuff you're not supposed to do. You know, a bunch of illegal hood rat stuff. But that's okay, because we do that in Mexico or Canada. But what I'm trying to get to is that no, you're not sacrificing crap. You're actually perfectly fine. The pros of bags, in my opinion, is you can adjust your spring rate. So like if say you want to like perform a little different, you want it to be a little tighter on the bends and the corners, you can actually adjust the dampening by just raising the pressure on the bags. You can adjust the coilovers in some applications, and then you can tighten the bag. So if you lower your coilover, the bag sits on top, you can tighten the bag a little harder, and you're gonna have better cornering. So when you hit that apex, you hit that bend real hard, you don't have much body roll. And that's what's the cool advantage of having bags. But, on a drag strip, it's the same application. All you're doing is going straight. So there's less chances of failure pneumatically or with the rubber on the bag itself exploding. But on the drag strip, you're putting a lot of torque on those in the rear end. So when you launch the heck out of it and you explode that axle, what's behind it? The bag. That's all I'm talking about, the rear. On the front, they're kind of far from each other because the bag is positioned up higher, and then the actual axle, if it's an all-wheel drive, system, is going to be down lower. So it's not really going to affect the bag at all. But on the rear, most of the time, your bag is sitting low right next to your axle. You just have to be, kind of aware of that, depending on how much torque. At a point, guys, you do for sure, you're gonna want to take your bags off. Yes, no brainer. If you have a freaking 2200 horsepower dragster, you wouldn't have bags on that. There's no point. If you want to do it, whatever. But on that note, don't be worried about performance or the longevity or like the strength of your bags. Remember something too, and I know I'm rambling and I'm not letting you ask me questions, but remember something, guys, and this is common sense. The bags, they're made of the similar material of an 18-wheeler. Almost every single 18-wheeler you see on the highway, they don't have springs. They have pneumatic suspension, airbags, airlines, pneumatic airline fittings. They all have them. You ever seen those big old bags in the back, the big bubbles behind an 18-wheeler? That's what that is. And they're using the same material. Why would a car that weighs 3,000 pounds be any different than a truck that's, 50,000 pounds?
My wheel dimension affect the way it sits?
Yes. That is a very good question. So fitment's a big thing, y'all. So for this Audi, So he thinks that this is a very aggressive fitment, and you're actually incorrect. This is not aggressive at all. This is actually perfect for his stance that he's sitting right now. He's got coilovers. This is all preference too, guys. So when you're trying to get a specific, let's just say, lip to fender, that is a type of fitment. When you put bags, your suspension is an independent suspension type of bag. So basically, your angle is gonna be adjusted. You're gonna have natural camber. So when you air out, the vehicle's just gonna go, and the wheels are gonna camber inwards because each wheel is independent from the other wheel. So this side is different from that side, and that's for performance reasons. So like if you hit a rock and the wheel goes up, this one's gonna go up. The whole car is not gonna do this. That's a perfect example. When you air out the car and you slam it on the ground for aesthetic purposes, so they can look good, your car is gonna naturally camber in. So your fitment that you thought was aggressive, like this one, it's not gonna look aggressive once you air it out. And you're gonna wanna buy more aggressive rim. And now that's at that point that you see these guys driving around on airbags, their rims are poking out like 2 inches out of the car, like me. When I air out, I got a pretty decent fitment.
Is there any adjustable bars that I must add to the kit itself?
Nope. You're actually on the better side of things now. So when you add bags, you're getting rid of problems like camber wear. You know how the tire's feathering and you get like more chewed up tire internally? You're gonna have less of those problems. And the reason why is because you can air up to factory height. So you never need to buy adjustable camber arms. Now, some of y'all are like, boo, man, you're full of it. You know, I get some people have different styles. My wife's about to put a Stancy Boy car in the video right now. And that car, for example, they want the wheels as pokey as like alien spaceship as possible. Destroying the inner tire, probably destroying the inner lip of that rim, cracking it, just debeating, just destroying the car just to impress other guys. Sorry to call you guys out, but it's the truth. I don't think women really care about that stuff. But yeah, you don't need that. Now, they do sell camber kits. You can always get camber kits for negative or positive camber. I guess that's where I'm trying to get to. But you don't need to buy any of that camber crap because, again, you could just air it up and it looks like you just bought a regular Audi. And that's the nice part because you can travel over anything.
I guess so. My next question would be, where can I get this from?
Multiple sources depending on your car. So for your car, there's multiple applications because your car, this suspension and this chassis, if I'm not mistaken, is shared with different types of cars. So you have the 4-door S5 sport package, and then they sell the S4, right? It's a 2-door. It's just a longer door. It's a short wheelbase, but if I'm not mistaken, the suspension is very similar. You just got to do your math. So guys, if you guys are looking at a suspension kit and you're trying to figure out your car, I could try my best to help you, but I'm not going to be the subject expert on your car. It's not mine. You're going to know more about your car than me. So you're going to have to do a little digging. Now, management-wise, that's universal. You can buy a 3P, a 3H, or any type of airlift performance, and there's other brands other than airlift, guys, so you can shop around and look at other stuff. I prefer airlift because that's like the Michael Jordan sneaker, you know, of airlifts, of management systems for airbags. But the management system, don't worry about that. You just got to figure out your suspension and where you can find your bags. That's the most important part. Bagriders.com, that to me is like one of my favorite ones, but some vehicles, you're not going to have it. If you got a weird car, a Pontiac Aztek, you're going to have to reach out to other people out there to figure out, do you make bags for a Pontiac Aztek? Can you make a custom application for my car? Sometimes certain vehicles are not going to have anything. For example, Trenton, one of my very good friends, he has a CTSV wagon. He went to PSI. PSI makes custom management for any car. Most applications that don't have, you know, a custom system for a specific car, a weird car. But what I'm trying to get to is that Trenton went and got PSI to hook him up with a set of bags, and he didn't realize that the CTSV coupe and sedan are very different in the rear than the actual wagon. And they sent him a coupe or a sedan bag kit. You just got to shop around. You got to look around. But Bag Riders is who I work with. And if you guys are looking for bags, of course, I can hook you guys up at any time.
What type of discounts you get over at Bag Riders?
So what I'll do is this. I'm not going to tell you the exact number, but I'll give you an example. I will pull up the website, and I will look at Bag Riders regular retail, And after taxes and shipping, and most of the time shipping is free, but after taxes and shipping and all that stuff is set up, I'll take that price, send it to you with the best kit possible for your car and the most affordable at the same time, whatever is there. And then what I'll do is from there, I'll take off probably $200 to $300. And I think that's a pretty decent deal. And it doesn't matter if it's already a discounted price. So if it's a sale going on, and let's just say the price was from $3,000 to $2,700 with the discount that Bag Riders is offering, I'll still take off $100 to $200 off.
How would you set it up in the back of my trunk?
Oh, let's go check it out. So you got multiple styles. You can do anything really. What I do is I do the most simple, cleanest setup possible. I usually just throw the tank back there. Compressors, I'll give you a couple options of how you want to do it. There's tons of possibilities. I mean, I could put a compressor here, there, a tank across the back. I could put the compressors in the back. I could put the tank in the front. I can use this down here, this compartment, take your spare wheel out, and then you can put your, what I usually do is I'll put your management down there, and then I have all your lines route from the bottom. But when I do route the lines, I make sure there's grommets so they're not chafing and then they cut, and then you have an air leak. There's just tons of opportunities with something like this. I can put two 2-gallon tanks from Seamless Tanks and put the management, put the whole system down there. And then later down the road, you can put like a piece of glass here, show everything with some nice cool lights. Or you could go talk to Boosted A Garage and they'll make the coolest system you could ever think of. Carbon fiber, fiberglass, painted to match your car, wrap, crazy ass lights, you name it. Boosted A Garage will hook you up. But the comment for me, I usually bag a car in a day. I don't make excuses like some of these other shops. I'll knock it out in a day, sometimes two, but I'll take my time and make sure it's done correctly. I will spend a whole day to make sure that this car is not going to wreck on the highway. That's kind of how I like to do things. But yeah, it takes me about a day, and I usually charge, depending on the application, very low. Could be from anywhere from $900 to like $1,200 to $1,300. But again, you're gonna get your car back in one day. And if you want to sit around and watch me do the whole thing, by all means do it. But you're gonna be bored. And I can show you. I'm gonna show you guys Patrice's car in a second. So this is how I did her remote. I like to hide the wire. So the wire is hidden all the way up on here, and I have the magnetic mount set up right here. So it's right there, accessible, it's not in the way, it's not dangling. This is very important. I want you guys to understand this is a sensitive remote. You don't want this sitting in the sun, or you don't want this mounted in your vents where the heater is just cooking it in the wintertime. That's really, really bad. You want it somewhere where it's away from the sun, and it's safe from the elements, and your air AC and your heater. You don't want that getting cooked. Oh, another cool thing about this remote is that you can change it. You can take the actual pad where all the buttons are at, and you can turn it sideways, and then you can have the remote sideways like that. So that's pretty cool. Right here is basically how I do a little quick, that's a quick, very simple setup, guys. Just compressors in a tank. All right, guys, so this is a very simple setup. Let me get this out of the way, that I will explain in a second. But see, this is how I do my installations, y'all. As you can see back there, there's a bunch of grommets, and they're to help not chafe the lines. These are your pneumatic lines. So you got two over here going from the right side, two on the left side, and that's your exhaust line. That's that cool psst noise that everybody likes. And everything's zip tied real tight. You see what I did here, guys? My lines are not kinked to the left or the right. Everything is done real precise, super straight. I sprayed and I tested them for leaks. Here's your water trap. That's very important as well. And as you can see, the arrow points towards the manifold. That means that all the air is going to go this way into the computer. And this is the management system. The reason why there's an excess amount of wires because you never know if your battery's up front. And in this case, the battery's right here. So you kind of got to ball everything up. These are your compressor wires, positive and negatives, one going this way, one going that way. And then over here is your fuses for the management itself. So this is what I like to do, y'all. This is a very important thing. You're gonna want to purge this line once a week. That's what I like to do. And as you see here, if there is water, it would have blasted out by now. But this car is freshly done, so you're not gonna have any moisture in there. as of yet. But this is a good safety feature. If your compressors take a crap on you and you have to air up your car and your compressors are not working, this is what this is made for. You go to somebody brings out a little tire pump, you hook it up right here, and you just fill up your tank manually.
Horror stories of people bags going out on them on the road and not being able to go anywhere.
That's a very good question, and that's why I like this whole video, is because I'm gonna give you guys some educations on all this stuff. So perfect example, the air system blew out, right? And you're stranded on the road, but you can't figure out how to get yourself out and save your life. So you need to air up your bags manually. And the computer's not working, right? You go online and you buy 4 of these, right? What you're gonna do is, you're gonna take your airlines that go to the computer and you're gonna put 4 of these at the end of them. And all you do is do this. You just literally disconnect it from the computer, stuff it in there, pull it a little bit, and you get your compressor and you just fill it up.
Okay.
And each corner is gonna go up.
That's pretty good.
And you don't have to worry about being stranded. Your compressor, your system took a crap, it's just not working, your remote's fried, it doesn't turn on, whatever, you're stuck there, and you're losing your mind. Oh my God, I know a couple guys who did that. They freak out, oh my God, do it again. I just show up, I connect this, fill them up manually. If you have a compressor, even better. But if you don't, and you just have the makeshift emergency one that's in your trunk, dude, literally connect it, and little by little get your car up. So you're gonna connect 4 of these to the 4 lines that go to each corner, and you're just gonna fill it up manually and you'll be safe. He was talking about like a specific stop plate for your suspension, and it's like an emergency stop plate. Some people put them on there permanently, some people put them as like a backup. Let's just say you got a tiny wheel, a small wheel, a smaller wheel, and your specific car has low drooping bumpers and sides and fenders. So let's just say that's the system, that's how your car was designed. Some cars, when you air them out, the bumpers in the car will hit the ground. It will never tuck fully. So they make those plate applications to stop at a specific point. So when you air out, it'll hit the plate and the car's still gonna be leveled. Your car's never gonna look like it's aired out, but you know, that's what that's for.
It's gonna save you about penalty.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
You don't wanna air out and stuff.
I guess I learned some stuff.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for subscribing and following my channel. Thank you so much for trusting me with your builds. You guys have been coming in like crazy, asking for quotes. Man, I had a lot of people come lately, and I've been working on your cars, and it's just been a blessing. My LLC is starting to kick off, guys. So yes, this is legitimate now. Thank you for your support. Till next time, Manny Mods Garage out. Patrice, thank you so much for trusting me with your HELLCAT Red Eye or HELLCAT Wide Body. This car is in perfect condition. It scares me to even touch it, but I promise you won't find nothing wrong with it, and it's gonna be just as good as all the others.